So in the last couple of weeks here in Sweden, we've had a lot of rain, and then we had more rain. But then after that, we actually had even more rain, and looking at the forecast going forward, it looks like we're gonna get even more rain. But I'm not bitter, not at all. I mean, rain is good for the lawn, right? But too much rain can also damage your lawn. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what signs to look for if you've had too much rain and what you can do about it. So hey everyone, my name is Sam and I'm an average Joe lawn nut. So as I said, it's been raining a lot here in Sweden, and I actually read that we've had 5 times the amount of rain that is normal for August in Sweden. So it's been raining a lot, and of course that can impact your lawn as well. Normally you want rain, you want water, you don't want to have to water the lawn yourself, but of course too much of it isn't good for the grass. So let's just have a look and I'll show you some signs to look for if you've had too much water, and then we'll go into what you can do about it. So as you can see from my lawn, it's really patchy. The color isn't even at all. It's very patchy, and that's one of the things that could happen if it rains too much, because the fertilizer I put on this lawn about 3 weeks ago, I mean, most of it has just leached out because it hasn't rained just a little bit. I mean, I'm talking heavy rainfall for weeks now. So some of the nutrients that I put on there have been washed away and just leached out. And then I have areas that look like this. You can see a bit here and here. It's all over the place. So that's a fungus called red thread. And red thread thrives when it's humid out and you get a lot of rain and the lawn can't actually dry up. So that's when you get red thread, especially in countries like Sweden where we don't have fungicides against that. So the only thing we can do about it is just put on nitrogen and make the grass grow and mow it out. So that's a little bit difficult, since if you put nitrogen on there and it rains for 3 weeks straight, everything is just gonna leach out. Well, maybe not everything, but a lot of it. And then I have areas like this. Can you see that? You see that you can barely see the soil. It's dead grass, it's roots starting to rot. And go a bit closer, let's see if you can see that. So you can barely see the soil. So air and nutrients actually have a hard time getting through this. It's just like a blanket on top of the soil. So that will keep air and nutrients to actually reach the roots of the plant. And normally I would just use a power rake to clean that up and just clean up all of that debris and make sure I get everything down to the roots. But when it is this wet out, I can't really power rake this. I'm gonna end up with a pile of mud all over the place. And especially if you have areas where the roots have actually started to rot, you just might end up damaging the lawn even worse if you power rake this at the moment. So what can you do about it? The first thing I did was aerating the lawn. So I have a garden roller which you can attach some spikes to it. So it becomes a spiked garden roller, and you just roll that over the lawn and it punches a lot of holes. The holes aren't big, you can barely see the holes. If you look here, I mean, you can barely see the holes, but it punches them anyways. I would have preferred the spikes to be a little bit longer so you actually can go deeper into the soil, but it is what it is. The only alternative to this is to rent or get a machine that does spike aeration, or just use a garden fork. But the garden fork is just gonna take forever. And what I want to do is punch holes through that debris blanket so I get all the nutrients in and I get some air down to the roots. And the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a bit of fertilizer. So I've been doing a 3-week schedule all year. So I take half the dose, but instead of every 6 weeks, I'm doing it every 3 weeks. And I like doing it that way because it gives you more flexibility if you want to change fertilizer, if you want to have some fertilizer with some iron, if you see that the color isn't what you want it to be, then you don't have to wait 6 weeks for the next time to fertilize. But one thing to point out, don't put your regular fertilizer on this with high nitrogen, at least not in colder climates like in Sweden, because it is late August. So if you push too much growth now, if you push too much nitrogen, it's just going to increase the risk for snow mold and other diseases. Since normally the cycle for grass is that spring it starts greening up, it starts focusing energy on the leaves because it wants the sun, it wants to start the photosynthesis, chlorophyll production, and start producing carbohydrates, all of that. During spring up until summer, it's gonna push a lot of growth upwards. And then when the weather cools off after summer, then it won't grow as much upwards. Then it will focus more energy for the roots and root development. So if you push too much nitrogen now and push growth upwards, that's gonna damage the plant because it can't focus the energy down on the roots, which it normally does, which is natural for grass to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a low nitrogen fertilizer. So I think this is 11 418, I think. So it's 11% nitrogen, 4% phosphorus, and then 18% potassium. But I swear, as soon as I put on the fertilizer and hoping that it might rain a bit so I don't have to water it in myself, you just know that it's not gonna rain again. I mean, that would be just so typical. It rained all night, it rained all morning. Now we have a break from the rain, so I thought I might record a video and then fertilize, and it's going to, well, it's supposed to rain in about 20 minutes. But again, I'm willing to bet a lot of money that as soon as I put on the fertilizer and want it to rain, it's not gonna rain. I won't see any rain for weeks, probably. But hopefully we get some rain, and after that we get a lot of sun. Hopefully. Not gonna happen, but fingers crossed. All right, so that's it. I've fertilized the entire lawn. Now, normally I would have liked to add some magnesium, iron, humic acids and all of that stuff too, but since you spray that on and it's raining a lot at the moment, there's just no point. By the way, my new mower, it's an Allet Liberty 43, I think. I've been using it about a month. I'm gonna do a video on this, comparing it with the Gardena I had. Right now I'm just trying to learn efficient ways of mowing, doing some cool stripes, but I'll do a proper video on it soon. The plan was to do a video a lot earlier, but since it's been raining for about a month, I haven't been able to use it and mow and shoot videos like I've planned, since I don't want to use it a lot when it's wet out. Normally I don't like to mow the lawn at all when it's wet, but so far I've kind of had to do it since it's been raining constantly. That also adds to the debris, since the wet grass doesn't go as efficiently into the grass collector box, so a lot of it just falls on the lawn and just adds to the debris. But hopefully we have some sun coming soon, and then the fertilizer is gonna kick in, and hopefully I can get a more even color. But this is also the time to actually renovate the lawn, so I've been planning to renovate my lawn within next week or two. But if the weather stays like this, it's just impossible, because I do need to do a light renovation, mind. It's not as dense as I want it to be, and I've pulled some weeds here and there, some POA, so I have some bare spots I need to fill in as well. Yeah, but hopefully I can do that within a week or two, and I can shoot that video as well if it's not raining too much. But we'll see first how this works out. These are my two options when it rains a lot: to punch some holes, let air nutrients in, and then give it a fertilizer, something with less nitrogen in it. All right, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.